Hey everybody, Tony Pellegrino with GenRight's Off-Road. And we're standing here in front of our Aftershock Jeep Wrangler JLU. It's a 2020, and this is built up now with coilover shocks and big axles and 40-inch tires. But the problem now is, the one thing that lacks is the brakes. And that's kind of what everybody does last, is they really think about, once they've built it out, like, they're not quite good enough or as good as they should be. So we're working with R1 Concepts, and we're gonna put brand new, their BBK series brakes on here. And that's a really nice upgrade, and it should improve our stopping distance by a bunch. So before we start, what we're gonna do is go out and do a 60-0 stop test the way it is. Then we're gonna come back, switch everything around, and go right back out and do the 60-0 stop test in the same section, same day, same everything, so we can get everything as close to show you what the real results are. We just did 4 stop tests, 2 to warm up the brakes and 2 full stop, hard stops in the Jeep with 40-inch tires. So this is the real world test. It's 80 degrees outside here in Southern California, dry, and we are really going 60-0 and checking it, and we averaged 128 feet. So now we're gonna put on the BBK R1 kit, and we're gonna see how much we can beat it by. All right, so, you know, the stock test wasn't as bad as I actually thought. 128 feet is pretty respectable, and I can tell you from inside the vehicle, that was fast. It stopped quite quickly. Better than I thought it would, and good thing there was nobody behind me, because we left rubber all over the road. The vehicle did its job, and the anti-lock brake system, you know, basically everything performed as good as I think it could. So now we're gonna go back, put those other brakes on, and I'll bet we can beat it by at least 30 feet. I came back and I'm like, man, the brakes on this feel way better than mine. And then I looked and they were R1s. I'm like, well, no wonder. So we just finished installing the brakes. It took a couple hours, and you're gonna need different tools for the new brakes than you needed to take off the old brakes. So be prepared for that. Make sure you got plenty of brake fluid. We went through a bunch just bleeding the new bigger brakes. And we did have to remove the backing plate on the rear axle. The new rotors sit on a little further, and that parking brake drum sits back a little further. So you're gonna have to use a cutoff wheel to get that off and a flap wheel to clean it up. So other than that, we've got inside, bled the brakes. Now we're gonna go out and bed the brakes. Then we'll go ahead and do our stop tests, and we'll let you know what the results are. just did the brake test with the R1 Concepts big brake package on our Jeep JL, and I gotta tell you, it performed awesome. It stopped 23 feet shorter than our best brake test we did before, and the pedal modulation feels so much better. You can actually feel the brakes without applying any additional force, actually slowing down the vehicle, and that modulation feels great. So on the street, really awesome. The performance feels good, and off-road, what that's gonna mean when you're in low range, when you usually can't hold the brakes enough, it's going to give you that extra braking power you need to have the confidence that you can stop the vehicle in low range.